shortly. Jessica, you want to come up here? Hi, Deb. Okay, so first is John. I'll introduce and talk about the event a little bit. So you just get in line over here on this side. John, and then the sheriff, and then you're after the sheriff, and then Joanne. Joanne, you want to come up? Uh-huh. I just want to line up the speakers. I want to line up this. You're after Jessica. You're going to close it up. So you want to just stand next to her. Okay. Sheriff, you want to come on up right here? Thank you for being here. All right. Everyone, thank you so much for being here today. We really, really appreciate it. We are here today to kick off the press conference for Missing in Harris County Day. This event was established back in 2015, and today we're here to remind and invite the community that if you have a missing loved one, please come to the event. You need to submit your DNA. Everything will be able to be done under one roof, under one day on Saturday, the 29th of April, from 10 to 3. And at the end, we're going to go ahead and give a demonstration on how the DNA is submitted, so people, the community can see that it's not a blood test or anything like that. They need to know and see what's going on. You want me to? Oh. So if anyone has any questions, we're happy to have any interviews after. My name is Melissa Rangel, and I am the case manager for Texas Center for the Missing, and have been with the agency for 10 years, and really appreciate our partnerships here today. And I want to just continue saying thank you and supporting the event. And we'll go ahead and get started. I want to introduce our CEO, John McEnany. I can't pronounce his last name.
That's all right. Thank you, Melissa. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here on this rainy day. I know some of you, depending on what part of town you came in, had some challenges to get here, so we are very grateful for that. Missing in Harris County Day will be this Saturday, April 29th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Children's Assessment Center located at 2500 Bolsover Street here in Houston. If you are searching for a missing loved one, this program is designed to help you and your family and friends. This was launched in 2015 by Harris County Institute for Forensic Sciences. Since 2019, Texas Center for the Missing, Houston's Amber and Silver Alert provider, has been the coordinating agency of this event. Since 2015, this program has recovered 6 missing persons, reuniting them with their families, identified 18 missing persons, bringing some answers to the families, uploaded 71 family references, DNA swabs into the National Missing Persons Database, NamUs. Resources will be on hand for family and friends of missing persons to access resources, file missing persons report if needed. Families will have an opportunity to speak to agency representatives and voluntarily submit their DNA. The DNA sample will not be entered into any criminal databases, only the National Missing Persons Database. Please note, anyone with a missing loved one from Southeast Texas is welcome to attend. This is not just limited to Harris County residents. At this time, it is my pleasure to call on Sheriff Ed Gonzalez, Harris County Sheriff's Department. For the remaining speakers, when it's your turn to speak, please come up and introduce yourself. Thank you.
Thank you very much to you, to Melissa as well, for this incredible opportunity for us to convene and talk about the importance of Missing in Harris County Day. And again, we want to invite everyone to join us on April 29th at Children's Assessment Center. They're also a wonderful partner that hosts the event. And for us in the law enforcement community, this is extremely important. We're the ones that are tasked with investigating the cases and following up on any leads. And it's really tragic. One of my first assignments in policing when I first started with the Houston Police Department was to work in the missing persons unit, work with the missing juveniles as well, and got a chance to interact with many families. Thankfully, many do return safely and they're located. But many times they become long-term missing, and we know that there's a family behind that loved one, somebody that wishes to reconnect or just find something regardless of what may have occurred. And so we want to make sure that we continuously provide the information that they need, make sure that we're pursuing any leads that may be important, and making sure that we continue to, above everything, to support them as they go through that very difficult journey. Want to commend and thank our partners here in law enforcement. We have members from the Houston Police Department as well as the Sheriff's Office as well, so appreciate them for being here. And again, this is an opportunity in many ways twofold. One is to make sure that families know any of the key steps, like providing those DNA swabs and other information, dental records and things that may be useful tips or things to help guide the investigation. That if they haven't done it, that's an opportunity for them to do it. But then for them to also reconnect with others that are also grappling with the same thing and struggling with it, and to know that there's support. So it's a day for us to come together and thank those service providers, those organizations that work in the space of supporting families with missing loved ones, as well as supporting law enforcement and again their efforts to do everything they can to locate these individuals, and for us to come as a community and say that they're important, that they're not forgotten, because providing that hope is so critical and so important. And it's an awful feeling to know that someone that you love for and care for has just gone missing, and there's many factors that come into play. Again, many of them do return safely, and that's a great thing, but some continue to be missing for long term. And if we could provide some answer or some clue or be able to encourage the community to call in with a tip, then that may be the difference maker that for us to kind of get the situation resolved. Briefly in Spanish, I'll say a few words as well. Estamos aquí esta mañana para reconocer el Día de las Personas Desaparecidas en el condado de Harris. Va a haber un evento este sábado en el Children's Assessment Center en 2500 de la calle Bolsover, cerca del área de Kirby el 59, en el Children's Assessment Center. Va a ser este sábado de 10 a.m. a 3 p.m. Pero este día es muy especial porque trabajamos con el Centro de las Personas Desaparecidas en Texas, y es para todos unirnos y primeramente tratar de darle algo de apoyo a las familias. Muchas personas que son reportadas desaparecidas, muchas sí regresan a casa, pero hay muchos que no y se convierten en casos ya de largo plazo, de muchos años, y muchas veces las personas no son localizadas. Entonces queremos darle a esas familias esperanzas, que vamos a seguir trabajando esos casos, que vamos a seguir solicitando pistas para tratar de darles respuestas en qué le pasó a sus seres queridos. Y de eso se trata este día tan importante, este evento anual. Le quiero agradecer a Melissa Rangel por su liderazgo para este evento y para todos los equipos de las agencias policíacas, tanto nuestra agencia en el condado de Harris, en la oficina de alguacil, el departamento de Houston también, y todas las personas que trabajan en esta área para apoyar a las familias que tienen seres queridos que han desaparecido, y ojalá que podamos darles algo de esperanza en localizar a sus seres queridos. At this point, I'll invite, I believe it's going to be Assistant Director of Bereavement for Harris County Community Services, Jessica Cooper.
Good morning. Thank you, Sheriff. Thank you, John. Thank you, Texas Center for the Missing. My name is Jessica Cooper. I'm the Assistant Director for the Bereavement Program for Harris County. We are honored to be a partner with the Texas Center for the Missing, as well as our partners, the Sheriff's Department, the Houston Police Department, and the Institute for Forensic Science. The Bereavement Program provides final disposition to the indigent, the abandoned, and the unknown. This past year, we've had 10 additional unknowns referred to our program. We take this partnership with our community partners very seriously, because reunification is something that's very important to us. To bring closure to the families of loved ones who have gone missing is very critical to us, to our program. We have a very dedicated team, Troy, Sonia, Bradley. They all work very closely with our partners in providing information for decedents who have come through our program who are unknown. And we've been successful in the past. We wish for more successes, but we've been successful in the past at bringing reunification to some. So we encourage you all to come out Saturday to the event. We'll be there to assist any way we can, and we thank you for joining us.
Good morning. My name is Joanne Loitzer. As of yesterday, April 26th, my daughter Alexandria has been missing for 13 years. She was 16 years old. She stepped off the school bus by our house and vanished. That day would have been the first time that she was ever going to walk to work. Just a quarter of a mile walk, straight down one road. She never made it to work. We don't know exactly what happened to her, other than someone took her. You know your own children. We know she didn't run away, no matter how hard they tried to convince us that she did. Not knowing what happened to my daughter has been a nightmare. A nightmare no parent should have to go through. I'm here to represent all the families out there searching for a missing loved one. I stand here today to help bring awareness to the fact that anyone at any time can become the victim. I am so grateful for everyone here and everyone watching this today. Missing persons is a hard topic to listen to and to speak about. But paying attention and educating yourself is key to prevention. I had no idea what to do when Allie vanished. And events like Missing in Harris County Day are here to help and prevent. There is help out there. National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, Texas Center for the Missing, Texas EquiSearch. We have a lot of resources at our disposal. Disappeared, vanished, missing. My daughter is somewhere on this earth. I've joined in the efforts of all of these organizations here today to try to make sure the next family gets the help they need. Texas Center for the Missing provides support for me and other families searching for their missing loved one. I cannot ever tell them thank you enough. They have provided the care and guidance I need to be able to navigate my way through this nightmare and to see a little light in this dark world. Thank you everyone for coming. We look forward to seeing you Saturday.
Thank you, Joanne. So if anybody has any questions in particular for any of our speakers?
¿Tiene alguna cifra de personas desaparecidas en Condado Harris? ¿Y a cuántos días se podría pensar que una persona está desaparecida? ¿Cuántos días hay que esperar?
You want to say that in English or which
Sarge,
one?
do you have the current numbers for our agency? How many we have missing right now, currently? Yeah. Ahorita le avisamos, her question is how many people are missing in Harris County, in Houston, I guess in Harris County as well. Vamos a tratar de identificar qué tantas personas tenemos. Cambian las cifras a veces porque, como mencioné, algunas personas son localizadas inmediatamente o después de corto tiempo, entonces esos casos son en el 2022 recibimos un total de cerca de 3,000 casos. De esas personas, 715 fueron personas desaparecidas, 1,680 eran adolescentes que se van de casa por problemas con los papás o cualquier cosa, y 582 personas son a veces casos de custodia entre familias que el papá se la lleva al niño o la mamá. Este año hasta el presente llevamos 164 personas adultas que han sido reportadas desaparecidas. Entonces, típicamente todo depende con un adulto, porque ya siendo un adulto, una persona pues no es un crimen desaparecerse, y depende mucho cuáles son los datos de la desaparecencia. Como algunas personas solamente tienen conflicto con la familia y se van y no quieren contacto. son adultos, no es crimen eso. Pero ya depende, vamos a ver si han checado con los hospitales, por ejemplo, si la persona se accidentó, a veces caen en los hospitales y no tienen la identificación y la persona no se ha podido comunicar. Pero hay casos donde ya ha sido un poco más de tiempo. Entonces, típicamente no hay cierto tiempo, pero le pedimos a la familia que primero chequen con amigos, familiares y que no se haya quedado en otra parte y no ha podido llamar o cosas así pasan. Entonces, todo depende del caso individual.
Sure. For those who may be hesitant to show up at the event to provide this information, can you talk about from an investigator standpoint how vital this is to provide those dental records or the cheap slots, just how this can play a role in developing communities?
Yeah, good question. It's very important for them to show up. First, number one, I think it's always important to lend support, to let them know that their loved ones are not forgotten and that we continue to stay engaged on their respective cases. Two is those investigative tools are very important. Often, you or teammates with the media often report or follow when we find skeletal remains, for example. And having something to compare with, DNA or some information on the last clothes that they were wearing or any objects, jewelry or anything that may be found at a scene could be helpful in trying to connect them, dental records, those types of things. So making sure that information can be provided to the Harris County Institute of Forensic Sciences, added to the databases and things like that. And it was mentioned as well, people do not need to worry that DNA evidence is being submitted to any kind of criminal database. It's restricted only to a missing persons type database. Then again, having those additional tools might be a clue that we could use should we come against locating someone in some type of where again foul play was determined or anything like that. Just it gives us an additional investigative leads potentially. Anyone else?
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank you.
Any other questions? I know I get a lot of calls sometimes, and I work closely with Sonia here and what I do right before Missing in Harris County Day is send a list of long-term missing so they can check their database before Missing in Harris County Day to see if anybody was identified. So that's what we want to tell our families too, is come to the event. Sonia will be there and her team to talk to you about it, look and help you. Because maybe your loved one has been missing for 12 years, 10, 15 years. Last year, a family was reunited after how many years? 21, I think it was, something like that. I can't remember that story. But, and right here on our board, we created this board. These are the most recent 8 recoveries that were made because of Missing in Harris County Day. So this is why it's so important. We've got to keep these numbers down.
I think to the last question, I think like right here, I'm looking at Patricia Castillo.
Yes.
Last seen in June of 1991. She was recovered a year later, approximately in February of 1992. DNA was submitted in 2017, and she was ultimately identified in 2018. So for that family, obviously tragic, but some closure by making that identification through the DNA that was submitted.
And that last year with Timothy Pettis, I remember the family clearly, and I just spoke to Mom asking permission to highlight her son's case. They came to Missing in Harris County Day because they had no idea what else to do. They connected with other families, and they were just thrilled to be able to communicate with others. They submitted their DNA. They uploaded that, and within 6 months, I think it was, they had recovered his remains and was identified by his DNA. Anything else? Okay. Any other questions? Thank you all for being here today. We're going to quickly show you, and you can take a photo of how the swabbing is for the DNA, and hopefully you guys can share that. But we appreciate media. We need media's help in promoting this event and inviting the community. The resources are here. They need to come and ask for them. If we don't know the answer, we're going to find you an answer. Updating NAMUS. if you have dental x-rays, if you have, any other kind of x-rays, and you want to upload them to this database, name is so important. So many families need to know how to navigate the name assist database. Can I move the boom box out of the way?
I can stay.
No, no. Oh, I'll stand in front of it.
So the DNA collection is a very simple process. It does have to be done by a member of law enforcement. NamUs provides us with a kit. There are 4 swabs. The first thing we do is glove up to make sure that we don't contaminate the sample. We're going to take 2 swabs and swab the inside of the right cheek, and 2 swabs and swab the inside of the left cheek. I usually like to count to 20 out loud so that the person I'm collecting the sample from is aware just how long it's going to take. Once the sample is collected, there is a label that we've written the donor's name on there. We take that label, we apply it to each swab. There's an envelope that has the donor's name, the date that the sample was collected, and the officer's initials. All 4 swabs will go in this envelope. There's paperwork, there's a release that they sign, and there's some other paperwork. All of this gets nicely packaged into this envelope here that gets sent off to NamUs. So when the sheriff said that these samples are not going to go in a criminal database, that's correct. They don't even go to a law enforcement lab. They go to the University of North Texas lab, where they will process the DNA. One of the questions families always ask, television solves everything in 45 minutes. Unfortunately, DNA does not work that quickly. We collected DNA July of one year. In January the following year was when we got the results back from that DNA that we had a match from NamUs. So it does take time for that DNA to be processed. It is not a quick process, but it's a very simple process for us to collect, and families should not be concerned at all about coming out to do the DNA collection at Missing Harris County Day. It's a very great tool. When your loved one goes missing, you hope they're found quickly. But unfortunately, sometimes they're not, and sometimes DNA is the only way we have to make that identification. So we highly encourage everyone to come out and provide their sample of DNA.
Thank you all for coming, and that will conclude the press conference. We don't want to keep you all too long. Again, the event is on Saturday, April 29th from 10 a.m. to 3. And we'll get there early. We always get families that come in before 10 a.m. So join us, spread the word, and let's make it a bigger event and reunite some families. Thank you all for coming. Anybody else need an interview? I know Telemundo came in. Okay. Okay. And I know Fox with Joanne.